Disclaimer.
What is the most embarrassing thing you did in front of your crush? We were at a writers' conference. I spent a good long time telling them about some controversy surrounding the use of pseudonyms in a writing contest. I was pretty proud of how well I stated both sides, as well as my fairly well-researched thoughts on the matter. They didn't add much, but I could tell they were interested. About 15 minutes later, I realized that every single time I'd meant to say pseudonym, I'd said surname instead. Never talked to them again. 30 years ago, and it still hurts. It's okay. They knew what you meant. Crashed my motorcycle in front of her and her new boyfriend. She came with me to the hospital. I won. But at what cost? Depends, was it an American or European hospital? Are you suggesting hospitals migrate? Not at all. They could be carried. What, a swallow carrying a hospital? First, we have to establish the unladen airspeed of American and European hospitals. Had a credit card declined. Ouch. I once paid on a first date with my Blockbuster video card. The server came back with it and I responded, "Oh, you don't take Blockbuster, lol." I tried a somersault, forgetting that I had ripped my pants earlier and one of my balls fell out. This is interesting. Yeah, that was after we started hooking up, so it wasn't as embarrassing as it sounds. I failed 3 or 4 times in a row to get a girl, so I'm jealous. We were on a trip with a whole bunch of friends at this one guy's cabin, and the sleeping arrangements were pretty cramped. She and I ended up on the same air mattress, but both had a sleeping bag. I woke up to her shoving me over, because I rolled over so far that she was laying on the ground. This is my favorite one. Probably better than her waking up to find you wet the bed. I accidentally sent her a message about her which is supposed for my best friend and thanks for my stupidity that she and now my GF. The good ending. It's always awesome to know someone was talking nicely behind your back, so you know it's genuine. In middle school girl culture, that was apparently how you admit to your crush that you like them. I have to admit I did the whole text your crush and pretend you meant to text someone else to initiate a conversation until an age I'm very ashamed to admit. Didn't realize it was so obvious until I heard other talk about how obvious it is. I once sent my crush a message saying I liked him, with a lot more words, and because I was embarrassed, I didn't use spaces. I think I was trying to convey I was speaking quickly. But geez, I feel bad for the guy trying to read it. I'm much more straightforward now than I was at 14. My buddy was at TA in grad school teaching a basic foreign language course. He exchanged messages about the class with a law school student who had gotten a job in a place where this was the primary language, needed to learn some basics. She forwarded the exchange to a friend, asking what she thought. Was he flirting? She thought he was cute, that kind of thing. Somehow the friend replied to it, including my friend. They'd been married almost 25 y. I almost drowned in 5 feet of water. We're getting married this year, LMFAO. Edit to add, since everyone's curious, it was accident due to my friend's landlord not taking care of the property properly. It was an above-ground pool. I was lightly leaning on the railing. I was trying to do my best and just a chill, normal dude who's definitely not super nervous in front of this very attractive person posed. The railing snapped, I fell backwards and hit my head on the wooden part of the pool as I fell according to others. The railing didn't fully detach and my ankle got caught in the bars. I was hanging upside down, head and torso completely submerged. My beautiful, wonderful, strong fiancé jumped in, lifted me out, and got all the inhaled water out. Luckily wasn't a whole lot. Literally saved my life. I luckily only sustained a mild concussion and sprained ankle, in exchange for an amazing human being I get to call my love for the rest of my life. Drowned in love. That's the most normal amount of water to almost drown in. 5 centimeters would have been embarrassing. I purposefully cracked double-meaning jokes in front of him, since he laughed a lot at them and enjoyed them. It got to a point where I was trying to get dirty out of everything and it got unfunny and annoying. I was trying way too hard. You were trying too hard? Is that really considered flirting? I always think PPL are just trying to be funny too. Ignored 6 months worth of hints. Was it willful ignorance or you straight up didn't realize? I just didn't realize. And I really liked her too, just thought it was her being friendly. But learned after that she had feelings and was giving me hints all along that I was very blind to. Welcome to the oblivious boat. Here's your oar, we row until we reach new lands. Got drunk and told him I'm in love with him. Told him a long list of all the sweet things I do for him, such as leave chocolates on his desk and baked for him using his favorite cheese because I love him. Told him why I felt hurt when he brought this girl along to a function and introduced her to me. Told him how much I wanted to message him on Christmas and New Year's Day. Yeah, basically I told him in minute detail all the feelings I had for him all this time, and apparently he had no idea. I told him this last week. I've yet to hear back from him. I need a follow-up. Please, I need a follow-up. Also, be honest, does my post make me sound like I'm crazy and unhinged? A little bit, only depending on the relationship before. Preface with I haven't been super interested in dating or trying to find someone in the 4 to 5 years since my last relationship. Let's say if this was before her. I know many girls that if I heard this from I would run, however I also know a few that I would have immediately fallen for or been extremely receptive to that level of confession. Edit you were drunk decreases the chances I would run since it wasn't like you were 100% there when it happened. We have known each other for a year. We have previously kissed. There are lots of flirty comments back and forth. Other people have noticed the flirting. He had no idea that you were into him even though you've kissed and continued to hang out afterward? He's either acting dumb or he is dumb, lol. Amen. Unless you went completely off the rails and rambled about your future kids' names, you're fine. I'm super pale and I can turn as red as a tomato in an instant. I work at a thrift store and I saw him come in with his girlfriend. They were looking at clothes together and it was so cute I couldn't stop blushing. I kept looking back at him and hiding my face behind shelves because I was so red. I was the only one on the floor, so I couldn't ask another coworker to check them out. So I did. I felt my face burning and I was so embarrassed. I knew he and his girlfriend noticed, lol. I am also decently pale and had a similar situation, but I decided to just pretend I was okay. Teacher sent me home sick because everyone suspected I had an extreme fever. Critical error, success. Ah. Does this motivate you to work or make you want to stay home all day? Both. A similar incident happened with another guy I knew and talked to through Snapchat, and I was too afraid to say hi, so I stayed hidden most of the time he was shopping. I was embarrassed and wanted to hide, but I do hope I can find my future boyfriend while working one day. Keep hoping. I was talking to a girl I liked in between classes, and we had to go to another building. On the way, we had to go down this short marble-esque staircase. It was also raining out. I slipped on the second to last step, and I landed on my back at the bottom. It didn't terribly hurt, but it knocked the wind out of me, in both directions. I ripped a fast but hard fart as soon as I landed. I got up quickly, and I could see her trying to stifle a laugh. So I just said see ya and walked back the way I came. After that, I didn't really talk to her again. Violent diarrhea on a camping trip. I had to ask her to go get me some toilet paper. Also pants, cause I'd shat all over the ones I couldn't get down fast enough. We've been married for 10 years now. Well, at least a shitty situation ended in a good ending. Me and me crush, my at the time best friend's sister, were exploring on someone else's land and came upon a big boat. I wanted her to climb up with me, but she refused, so I went up alone. The nerves of trespassing got to me and I instantly, and I mean instantly, needed to poop, which I did, and just as I pulled my pants back up her head popped up over the gunner. I yelled at her to get away because someone had pooped on the deck and she swiftly went back down before me. Walking back I was musing what animal might have gotten up there to have such a weird human-looking poop. Can dogs climb ladders? But I could tell she didn't believe me and my crush never evolved to anything further than that. Sad face. I was 7 and she was 6 BTW, for context. Me over here picturing 2 grown teenagers. We were in a group setting, chatting. I had almost finished my cigarette, and instead of using my fingers, I tried to blow the cigarette out of my mouth. It stuck to my lip, burned my face. I looked like an idiot. Stalking her photos without knowing she was watching me. We were hanging out in my room while I got up and closed the window and grabbed my cat to put him outside. My trousers were kinda loose when out of the blue they fall down to my ankles, and my first reaction is to cover my crotch area with my cat. I still cringe at the thought of it. You were just showering her your pussy. Shit her pants. Even though I am male, me and her have the same size waist. While doing some dares, we ended going to another room and swap clothes. While I didn't know, a friend had slipped me a prank laxative, the evacuator. My stomach starts making dark chants and I try to excuse myself. I didn't even make it out of the room before my colon got repurposed to being a railgun. Had to go to the bathroom and suffer with stomach cramps. I went and showered, they went and washed the pants. I was just sitting there thinking I got food poisoning, and the prankster came in to apologize as he misread the dose, and it wasn't 15 milliliters and was 5 milliliters. So I spent the next 2 hours just in the bathroom conducting a rectal exorcism. Is there a more eloquent way to describe how you shat in someone else's pants? I think not. What the fuck kind of person goes around slipping people laxatives? What the fuck kind of person continues to associate with that person afterwards? There are so many other what the fucks to address, but those two are the big ones. Friend group dynamic was 19 to 22, all retail wage slaves that decided to go over to a friend's house for a night of drinking, Cards Against Humanity, watch movies, watch Avenue Q, and we decided to play Truth or Dare. When it came to me, it was for me to get into my crush's pants. I whispered my idea in her ear and she giggled and we ran to another room. We swapped clothes, although I wore her button up as a cape. We came out to them saying that was, and then them laughing. What I didn't know was there was a guy who was a brother of an invited person. He was mad that he knew what someone had planned to dare me do, as he had a crush on her and every girl there. He had ordered this crap out of a catalog called Shamertech or something, and it was a vial that you were only supposed to put a cap full, and he just dumped the whole thing. He was laughing until the girl slapped him and said that he would be lucky if the cops aren't called. He mustered all the composure of a fourth grader who saw his playground wife kiss another kid on the cheek and ran out. His brother took him back home and came back while I was still in full-on cramping and voiding liquid. Well, they kept partying while I was in the bathroom naked for 2 hours, just sick. We had found the vial, so we called poison control, who said that we may want to discard any drinks that could have been tampered with. They said I should be fine as long as I don't drink anymore, as it's similar in effect as the liquid of a colonoscopy prep. Well, 3 hours later I haven't had any more disturbances, so they let me sleep in the guest room as I was weakened. They got me some Gatorades and I woke up with my crush having my head on her lap. We never dated, but she was such a sweetheart. Aftermath was dude was never allowed around anyone at that party. Even the brother was a pariah for a bit because he knew his brother did stuff like that. On my first date with a guy, I had a grand mal seizure in the middle of an apple orchard. I started coming to in the ambulance after a nurse that happened to be at the orchard helped carry me to it. He was nowhere to be seen and I never saw or heard from him again. I also peed my pants during it. Dodged a bullet there. Even on a first date, you'd surely want to at least stick around and make sure the person was okay, right? It would have haunted me forever, not knowing. I was in high school and asked this girl out on a date. She said, "How about Friday we go out to dinner and a movie?" In the most embarrassing thing ever, I said, "How about we just go to a movie? I don't think I can get my dad to give me that much money." She actually did go out with me. We ended up doing dinner and a movie, and she dated me for 4 years into college. I can't imagine why. I told her how embarrassing that conversation was years later, and she said she thought it was funny. I asked her out but didn't have any money. Well, when I was in kindergarten I liked this girl, and in my tiny kid brain, I thought that doing front flips and back flips were very cool. I thought that was peak human ability. So I thought I would impress her with my very own flipping skills, which I did not possess. So I improvised. I thought it was just as cool to sit on the ground and roll backwards. Over and over. Fast forward some time and my school used to have a kindergarten dance for kids who passed. Parents were invited. Your kid couldn't go unless you were present. A school dance, huh? Looks like my time to shine. Now imagine you're at a kindergarten dance. You're there to watch over your kid. And then out of nowhere you see this other kid in a tiny suit rolling across the ground like a fucking Dark Souls character. Safe to say I stayed single for a very long time. That is my first memory. I want to die. The Dark Souls simile is cracking me up. This is so dumb, but we were at a pottery shop painting pottery and talking about books. He asked me what I liked so much about romance novels, and I said, for me it's the longing. Wanting what you can't have, fighting yourself and the world to get it anyway. That's the stuff. There was nothing bad about what I said, but I was so embarrassed to have shared that particular tidbit. We've been together for a year and a half now. He's everything I ever longed for. You can also watch other videos by going to the channel. I will be pleased if you like them.